Hello. Welcome everyone. In this video, I am going to show you what are the changes made by FIDE in the rating system effective from 1st March 2024. The video may be bit lengthy, but I will request you to watch it completely till end because this is very important topic. Everybody is worried about what is this FIDE rating, how to get it, how is it calculated, etc. I hope you all will like the video. Do mention your thoughts in the comment box. Like and share the video and subscribe to channel if you haven't done it so far. So let's begin. The first change I would like to show is in the minimum rating criteria, and the second change is in the initial rating calculation. I will show you this in detail now one by one. Minimum rating criteria has been increased from 1000 to 1400 ELO now. All the rated players below 2000 rating were given one time hike using certain formula which I will show you on the next slide. This formula will also be used in initial rating calculation whenever needed. So I will explain this as the second point in this video later. And players below 1400 will be considered as unrated now. Now coming to the formula used for giving one time hike is like 0.40 into 2000 minus rating of a player. So 1000 rated player is given a new rating of 1400. 1100 rated player is given new rating of 1460. So how this formula is working, we will see with the help of example. Let's say a player had a rating of 1700 before the compression. That is the old system, rating system of criteria of 1000 rating. He would have got now new rating in FIDE after compression as below: 0.40 into 2000 minus 1700. So difference is 300. So 300 into 0.40 is 120, which is added to his rating 1700 plus 120. That's how he got the new rating of 1820. So this was about the first point, change in the minimum rating criteria. Now the minimum rating is 1400. Now let's see the second point, change in the initial rating calculation. Initial rating calculation. Before looking at the changes in this process, it is important to see some of the points. So this will help you to understand how the initial rating calculation works, and there is no change in this process. So first point is score against minimum 5 rated opponents, not necessarily in a single tournament, will be considered. If score in the first event is 0, then that tournament won't be counted. So tournament where at least half point against a rated opponent or opponents is scored will be considered for further calculation. It means what? Suppose in first tournament you face 3 rated opponents and you scored 0 points. In the next tournament you faced again 3 rated opponents and you scored half point. So your first tournament will not be considered for calculation, and your second tournament onwards all the tournaments will be considered for initial rating calculation. So for example, after this, in the next tournament you faced 4 rated opponent and you scored 0 point. So your score will be half point against the 7 opponent, not the 3 opponents. Okay. Next point is at least one move by both the players must have been made. So this is called as played game. So buys and walkovers are not considered here. And all the games of 26 months are considered for the calculation. So as I said, the tournament where you get minimum half point against a rated player, that is the starting point, and all those games will be added till you get the initial rating. So this is for 26 months, and if 26 months are over, then the first tournament will get cancelled and the next month will be added, and the tournaments played in that month will be added. Now coming to what is the change in this process. First, while calculating average rating of opponents, two hypothetical opponents of 1800 rating will be added. So I have explained the entire calculation taking the examples in the next slides. So after that you will be clear about all these things. So I will just read these points here. Next, score against these hypothetical opponents will be taken as draw, that is half point each, means you get one additional point. DP factor will also be calculated accordingly with hypothetical score added, means that 1 point is also considered as a total score against the rated opponent. And initial rating so calculated must be at least 1400 and maximum of 2200. It means, suppose there is very strong unrated player, he goes and plays some strong tournaments and scores very good against some IMs and GMs, some draws and wins, and his initial rating calculation comes as 2300, but still he will be given initial rating of 2200. Now coming to calculation part. So I have taken two cases. So case one is where there are no old tournaments, means only the tournaments after the compression. So the opponents will have the rating of 1400 and above. And the second case is when you have played some old tournament, means before the compression. So let's first see the case 1. So in case 1, suppose you have played two tournaments, first in April 24 and next in June 24. In April tournament you faced two rated opponents, one is of 1500 and another is of 1430, and you scored half point against those. In June tournament you faced three rated opponents having a rating of 1575, 1600 and 1530, and you scored 1.5 point against those. So your total score is 2 points in the tournament. Now first you have to calculate the average rating of opponents, that is RA. So you sum up the rating of all the opponents you played, and in this you add two hypothetical opponents of 1800 rating, which was mentioned in the earlier point. So this is the change here, and divided by the number of opponents. So 5 plus 2 hypothetical opponents, so total 7 opponents. So this average rating will give you 1605 rounded off. Now next step is you have to calculate the fractional score P. So your total score is 2 points plus you add 1 point of hypothetical opponents of 1800. So your total score is 3 against the 7 opponents. So that will give you 0.4285. Now we have to go to DP table, which you will find it in the ratings.fide.com. There are lots of handbook. So you refer to FIDE rating regulation handbook effective from 1st March 2024 and search there in 8.1.1. You will see the table. So in that table you have to see against your P what is the value. So here P is 0.43, now rounded. 0.4285 is 0.43 rounded, and you will see the value in the DP table as -50. Okay, which you have to add it to average rating you have calculated in the first step. So then you will get the initial rating of RA plus DP, that is 1605 minus 50, that comes to 1555. That was a pretty straightforward case. Now let's see the case 2, that is you have played some old tournaments, that is before compression. Your opponent will have a rating of 1000 and above as per the old rating system. The FIDE tournament database will have those values. So we need to convert them using the formula as mentioned earlier. So let's say you played one tournament in December 23 and you faced 3 opponents having rating of 1310, 1220 and 1195. So using that formula, now the converted or their new rating will be 1586, 1532 and 1517, and you scored 2 points against those opponents. Then you played another tournament in April 24. So now this is as per the new rating system, and you faced three opponents rating of 1450, 1575 and 1600, and you scored half point against those. So your total points are 2.5. Okay, so now we have to calculate first RA. So now you have to take the new converted rating 1586 plus 1532 plus 1570, and then the new tournament opponents of 1450, 1575 and 1600, and in that you have to add two hypothetical opponents of 1800 and divided by number of opponents including hypothetical. So total 8 opponents, 6 plus 2, 8 opponents. That will give you average of 1608. Then next step is calculate P, is your total score from the tournament 2.5 plus 1 added for hypothetical opponents divided by 8. So 3.5 divided by 8 is 0.4375. Now refer the DP table, you will get the value of minus 43. So your initial rating will be RA plus DP 1608 minus 43. So it will be 1565. After you get initial rating, then comes the rating change calculation. So whenever you play subsequent tournaments and face rated opponents, you will have a change in your rating based on the your score against those rated opponents. So FIDE has provided both these types of calculators online on their site. The first is initial rating calculator and rating change calculator. So you can use those calculators on FIDE site. All right, this was all about the changes made by FIDE in the rating system effective from 1st March 2024. Hope you like the video. Do mention your thoughts in the comment below. See you in the next video. Bye bye.